Hello, everyone. Welcome to 360 Degrees Excellence, where we believe everyone can achieve all-round success. I'll be having a conversation with Dr. Folasade Adeboyejo today, and we're going to be talking about the potential of agro-processing and agribusiness in Africa. I'm excited to talk to her. She's someone that knows the subject matter that we're talking about today. She's a lecturer at University of Ibadan, one of the leading universities in Africa, and she's also CEO of a food company. So I'm so excited to talk to her about the subject matter once again. So without wasting time, let's just dig in. So the first question I'm going to be asking is from her, the first question I want her to tell us about herself, more than what I just said. So Doc, can you just tell us about yourself, where you were born, and every other thing that you'd like to tell my viewers today?
All right. Thank you very much, Prof. I'm glad to be on your channel. My name is Folasade Adeboyejo. I am born, bred, and brought up in Ibadan, Oyo State, Nigeria. And academically, I have background in applied chemistry and food technology. I have HND in applied chemistry from the Polytechnic Ibadan. And then I went on to do my BSc, MSc, and a PhD in food technology from the University of Ibadan. After then, I did my mandatory 1-year NYSC at Nestle Nigeria Limited, where I worked at the Milo plants. And then currently, I lecture at the University of Ibadan, Department of Food Technology, where I teach and supervise at both undergraduate and postgraduate levels. Before this, I worked with the Federal Institute of Industrial Research in Lagos for about 4 years. And then I moved over to the National Horticultural Research Institute in Ibadan here, where I was the head of the processing unit before I moved to the University of Ibadan. Same, I have very good in the research and the teaching. I have the experience all around.
Okay, thank you so much for what you just told us about yourself. Very, very, very interesting. So today we're really talking about what you know a lot about. You worked in the food industry, Nestle. Nestle was one of the places I wanted to work in those days. You did your youth service there. I did my youth service at Cadbury, and you also so it's very, very interesting to know that you've done it all. You work in the food industry, you work in a research institute, you working in the academia. So you are someone that can really talk about the food industry, in detail. And today we're talking about agro-processing and agribusiness. The World Bank says that the agribusiness and agripreneurship in Africa has the potential to become a $1 trillion business. And it's not like that at the moment. We are not really realizing the potential of that sector. Take, for example, Thailand, Brazil, or Indonesia, each as a country exports more than what all of African countries are really exporting. We are not really doing well. So, but we have a lot of potential. I just wanted to really tell us about the potential of agro-processing or even agribusiness in Africa. And you can also include reasons why we are not really performing the way we should be performing.
All right. Thank you very much, Prof. As you rightly said, Nigeria and indeed the whole of Africa, except for a few countries like South Africa anyway, they are not really doing well in terms of exploiting the potentials of agro-processing. the sector, I believe, has a very strong backward and forward linkages that are not being exploited as it should be. So the agro-processing industry, as I believe, is the largest single sector that the largest single subsector in agriculture that that employs a large population of the people. For example, if properly exploited, it can there can be increase in industrial products, earning in foreign exchange, income generation for all actors in the agricultural value chain. It can provide a basis for development, both upstream and downstream. But then we know that the economy in this part of the world has been badly affected by so many factors, like population increase, insecurity, corruption, recession, and even COVID. So there is a decline in revenue growth for the economies in Africa. And then also looking at the fact that these developing countries, Nigeria inclusive, most of the products from agriculture, the primary products, are exported unprocessed. So the global economic turndown, really negatively affected, what we can export. So we have either glut or lack, because we have a lot of the products produced primarily either going to waste because nobody is processing them, or becoming bad, and then we lose those harvests because they are not being exported. Nobody is collecting them, as much as we used to have. And then looking at the fact that our economies are almost 100% dependent on oil, so all these factors that have negatively affected the economy has made us to now look back inwards to look at agriculture and agro-processing as the way forward for economic development. So I believe that the sector has very good potential. I said forward and backward linkages. Backward, I mean in terms of empowering the farmers, increasing their income. They're able to get more for what they produce. And then forward in terms of the other actors on the value chain. If we're able to process and exploit the potentials in agro-processing, we have people in the packaging, in the logistics, in the retailing, in the marketing. So it can, it's a sector that has the potential to really change the fortunes of developing country if properly harnessed and exploited.
Perfect. I like that. I like your response, very, very, very detailed. And I also know from your bio that you're passionate about reducing post-harvest food losses and also waste. Can you tell us about why you have interest in that and what you're doing about it?
Okay. Why my interest in post-harvest loss? Well, I would say my interest began with my mom. My mom, growing up, will always tell us, she has two particular sayings. One, she will say, get and throw away. Person, they take and reach. As growing up in the barracks, my father was a military man. So she used to tell us, get and throw away. Person, they take and reach. And then she would say another one in Yoruba. She would say, Owo ta fi ra eko to ro, kò ní jẹ́ ká lè sọnù. So in the house, nothing will ever go to waste. She would make sure, even if you burn something in the pot, you will hit that burnt part. She will never allow it to go to waste. So I think that was where my interest in reducing loss and preventing wastages started. And then my daughter, she has a love for a particular fruit. So when the fruit is in season, there was a particular day I went to market to buy that fruit for her. And I saw the market women in the fruit market selling a whole, very large quantity for a very minimal price. So I asked the woman, why this cheap? So she said, that I should look at the store. She has so many baskets of the fruits that have gone bad. She said she would even pay money to dispose those things. So, that particular day, I felt like she was talking to me. And that was where my interest in trying to contribute to the reduction of post-harvest loss really started. So that particular day, I bought a basket of that fruit and I took it to the lab. I started, trying to develop anything I can, things that comes to my mind, I started developing from that product. And that was where my interest really, really began. So apart from my own personal experiences, I would say generally we see it all around us. Farmers will spend so much, put so much input to process, to produce their crops, and then before it gets to the market, before it gets to the consumers, we know all those areas, all those places where these things, get waste and loss, and then we see a lot of environmental pollution because of these things that have to be thrown away. So I think I'm passionate about reduction of post-harvest loss because it would help to increase food availability. As we know that about 22% of undernourished people are in sub-Saharan Africa, and that's even the highest global prevalence, in the world. And then about 9% of people are hungry all over the world, and we know that population is also increasing. So there is a need to produce food to feed this growing population. And then the resources we have to produce the food are not increasing. The land will not increase, water supply will not increase, some other agricultural inputs to produce the food will not increase. So we have to look at the area of managing and preserving what we produce. So I think that is why. And then about the what am I doing to address the problem? As a lecturer, I allow my students to generate ideas. I allow them to generate ideas looking at the indigenous products. I tell them, look at your village, look at your locality. What is that food that you have competitive production advantage in your village? And then you see it going to waste. So even when they pick their project topics, I make sure it is something they are familiar with, something that they have personal interest in. So I allow them to generate, ideas. I tell you, this is a breeding ground for innovative ideas because these students will go ahead to become, industry giants, to work in the production sector and all of that. So I make sure that they generate their own ideas of entrepreneurship in the field before they graduate. And then, like, already, I founded my own company to be able to walk the talk, not just teach food technology, not just teach food processing, but in my own little way, I'm able to produce something from what, we produce as a country, and also to market and get profits from it. And then I personally make it a point of duty to process only indigenous commodities, only things that I know will benefit our local farmers, the smallholder farmers that are involved in the production of these agro crops. Then for my company, I also do consultancy. I write a feasibility study for upcoming startup entrepreneurs, cottage processors, and I try to take them through the technical and the economic feasibility of whatever they want to do. And then I am the Nigerian Institute of Food Science and Technology. That's the professional body of food science and technologies in Nigeria. I'm the current coordinator for Oyo and Osun states. So I also use that platform to be able to influence policy, influence the government. We have had meetings and talks on that platform with government to be able to push policies that will encourage reduction of post-harvest loss. And then personally, I'm also hoping to get into government, because you have to be there. You have to be there to be able to make impact. So I'm also looking forward to getting into government and influence policy. And then lastly, for this year, personally, I'm looking at starting up a public enlightenment video campaign series on various aspects of food, information on food, because we see a lot of myths, a lot of half-truths, especially on the social media, where people blacklist food technologists by saying that we produce poison, So I'm looking to start that public enlightenment campaign, or this short video series, to be able to address these issues. So basically, that is what I have been doing to address the issue of post-harvest loss and waste.
Great stuff, and you're really doing a lot. I'm really impressed with what you're doing in Nigeria, and also the fact that you're also working the talk. You started a food company, very, very interesting. Even in a challenging environment, sometimes there may not be power, but you're able to thrive. That's amazing. You also a consultant, and the next question I want to ask is regarding that. If someone wants to start a food processing enterprise, what tips do you have for them?
Okay. Well, for somebody looking to start a food processing company, I would say that the environment is not very encouraging, but you have to have this resilience to make sure that when you start, you will not stop. So, well, number one is that anyone hoping to go into food processing should first of all look at access to your market. By that, I mean do a proper feasibility. The raw material may be available. The utilities may be too expensive for you to be able to break even. So it is necessary to do a proper technical and economic feasibility. The business plan, not just okay, it is feasible to produce juice, mango is available, so I want to start producing mango. You must also do the economic feasibility. If you buy at so cost and you process at so cost, you pay salaries, you pay for utilities, I mean electricity, gas, water, and all of that. And then probably you took a loan to start. And then the interest on bank loan, what quantity would you be able to sell in a year for you to be able to break even, not to talk of making profits? So all this must be done and properly analyzed before you start up, before you even invest a kobo. Invest first in writing a feasibility report. And then after that, another issue is safety and regulatory concerns, because food is as good as drug. Whatever you take in is, it affects health and well-being. So safety and regulatory issues must be properly attended to. For instance, in Nigeria, what is the requirements? If you want to start up a fruit juice processing company, what must you have, So all of that must be properly attended to. Another issue is that of solid and liquid waste management, because the environment is so porous, standards are not well enforced. We have issues of food adulteration and all of that, contamination. So the issue of waste management must be properly attended to. Another one is that of marketing and distribution. I know a lot of colleagues and friends that, okay, everybody is doing gari, let me also do gari. Everybody is into cassava processing. Okay, that is and everybody goes to buy a plot of land and start producing cassava. And then when you're done, you don't know where to dispose it, So you must also look at who are your target markets, and you must be sure that they have the capacity to accommodate or collect the amount or the quantity you would produce. So it's also necessary to look at your market and distribution. You won't be the person to buy raw material, you won't be the one to process, you won't be the one to market, they want to distribute, they want to look for customers. So you must make sure that all those things are available. You make sure that the products you are processing has a ready market. You have your target market, and that they are able to accommodate your production capacity. Lastly, it is that of funding. That is the major issue. Funding, personally, I made up my mind I was not going to get a loan from the bank, because in this environment, there is no way you would be able to break even running on bank loans. I stand to be corrected. But personally, I decided not to go for bank loans. So I save up, I buy my equipment, I buy gradually. When I need to buy raw material, or when it is in season, I buy in bulk. Then I process with intermediate products, then I keep, and then I use within the year. So funding is a major issue that must also be looked into by any aspiring food processor.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for those tips. And they can always contact you if they want a detailed, advice, and they want to, if they need further consultation. Thank you so much for that.
Sure.
Very detailed. And you mentioned the importance of starting with a feasibility study, which is very, very important. You must have a business plan. You must do that, so if you don't really want to fail. And I always tell people that are going into business, they want to start a startup, that the statistics says that out of 10 businesses that start in a year, about 8 will not make it. But those that don't make it, if they try again, the success rate is very, very high. So if you start a business and you don't make it for the first time, don't give up. Try one more time. It's tough, but people are making it. Even in Nigeria, people are making it in Nigeria.
Absolutely.
Anywhere you are, you can make it if you don't give up. Especially also if you believe in God and you trust God, and you also ask God for wisdom. You can make it wherever you are. I like your response. Very, 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 very encouraging and educative. And somebody commented on Facebook when I announced that I'll be doing a recording with you, and he was asking about help for farmers. I just want to find out whether you know of any initiatives in Nigeria empowering smallholder farmers, and how can they get help?
Okay, I saw the question as well. For smallholder farmers, I know that there are CBN bank loans for farmers that can be accessed. I know there is this Agnes loan, then there is this 50% loan for processors in, I think, cassava, maize, and soya beans. I would get the details and probably send to the person that asked the question.
Okay, to the person.
And then and then to empower smallholder farmers and processors, I am aware that towards the end of last year, the government, to ease registration of products from smallholder farmers, I know NAFDAC, there is this platform online where would-be processors can register their products, can start the online registration, and they have about 80% reduction in the cost for product registration. But I think it has a timeline. It's for this COVID period. So any aspiring processor can quickly take advantage of that window. It's about 80% price reduction to register smallholder products from food processors, so long as they are indigenously produced and they are from local crops. I'm aware that that platform is on. I think it is www.napams.org. Napams, NAPAMS.org. So I know that platform is on. Anyone looking to go into agro-processing can take advantage of that platform.
Interesting stuff. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to do this interview. What's your closing remark for us today?
Okay, thank you. My closing remark would be that opportunity abounds. Even in the midst of electricity is failing, funds are not available, there would always be reasons why you cannot do it. The reasons will never end. So as much as the negative reasons not to aspire to do anything, not even even in life, as much as those opportunities are also there. So taking advantage of these opportunities, preparation will meet you when you are, when you prepare, you would be able to take advantage of the opportunity available. For example, I major in the production of products from agbalumo, which is African star apple. This product I looked through, I saw that there is actually no processed products commercially from this product in the Nigerian market. And people take juice, take jam, take candy from fruits, all sorts of products. But this one that is even has comparatively higher nutritional value than the conventional fruits we have in the market. It's just there wasting. So I took myself, I went to a village where I know that fruit is the major source of income in that village. That's the only thing they produce. So I go there when it is in season, I buy up the trees, I pay for the trees. So when it is time for harvest, I just go there and collect at very, very cheap prices. And then these people are happy and glad because these fruits just falls to the ground and cause pollution for them. People that come to buy, they even thank them for buying. So as much as it looks as if nothing is happening around that fruit, I look to see that, okay, there is a potential, there is an opportunity for me in this place. And I took that opportunity. So I'm saying that the early stage may be difficult, but then persistence and the grace of God, leaning on God to help, will always win. And then particularly for those that want to start agro-processing, my closing remark would be that an opportunity they can make use of is to look for co-packing facilities, because the requirement to start up, to build your own facility may be very expensive and unattainable for a small startup. So looking for co-packing facility where you can start up to reduce your upfront cost as new entrepreneurs may be a very, very good opportunity to start. And while you do that, you can now start up on your own facility. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. A lot of experience you have shared with us today, and I'm sure that my viewers must have learned a lot. And those that also be watching, after sharing this recording, we really learn a lot from what we've shared today. To my viewers, I just want to tell you that the potential of agro-processing is enormous. Is incredible indeed, like what we have said today. Agro-processing has a potential to promote employment generation, diversify rural economy, can also help us to reduce import, and most importantly, help us to achieve food security. I just believe that you've learned one or two things today. I want to wish you a wonderful day ahead. See you next time.